Hi. Welcome back to the Movie Mavericks. Today I will show you an action, thriller TV drama show from 2023 titled The Last of Us. Spoilers ahead. Watch and enjoy. The episode begins about 10 miles west of Boston, with a man named Joel Miller picking small stones from a ravine's water. He walks up to a 14-year-old girl named Ellie Williams. He takes his gun and bag while throwing food at Ellie. Ellie gives him his jacket, and they go hiking for 5 hours through the forest. While they are walking on a plain, Ellie asks Joel what he is going after, and he answers that he is searching for the remaining people. She asks him how the scar on his head formed, and he replies that someone tried to shoot him, but luckily the bullet missed him. As they walk a little further, they come across an abandoned house in the middle of the forest. He tells her to stay outside while he takes some stuff from the house. Inside the house, Ellie walks to her room, whereas Joel is busy searching for something. Ellie finds a way toward the basement. She takes a torch from her bag and climbs into the basement room. While she is busy searching in the room, she hears the snarl of an infected person who is trapped under the debris. Nervously, she walks towards him, and she sees his deformed face. She takes a knife and makes a cut on his forehead, and after that, she hits him in the face with the knife immediately. On the other hand, Joel shouts for her, and she comes out of the basement. Joel places his gun in a box. Next, they resume their walk, and they see a destroyed aircraft in the forest. Ellie asks him if he has flown that aircraft in the past. He answers yes, he flew that aircraft a few times. While walking ahead, Ellie asks Joel who got infected first. Joel says the virus spread through food, and those who ate the food got infected. Joel suggests that they change their route, but Ellie insists that they continue on their current path. As they go farther, they come across the skulls and bones of humans laying on the ground. Joel tells Ellie that when the pandemic broke out, the soldiers moved to the countryside to save people. The scene now shifts to September 30, 2003, where soldiers are evacuating families in the wake of the pandemic. Soldiers are loading the families on military trucks. A man named Bill, who is sitting in a dark room in the basement, is seeing all this via CCTV cameras. As the soldiers drive away with loaded trucks of citizens, the man climbs up, wearing a special mask and holding a gun. Cautiously, he walks out of the house and sees no one except for the breeze. He then takes off the mask and drives to another place in his blue car. Later, he fills 2 drums with gasoline and transports them to a grocery store, the Home Depot. He opens the main door and walks in. He takes some necessary items from there. After that, he drives to the natural gas plant and opens the pipe for the gas. He returns to his home and lights up the stove to make tea. He then removes the cover from the generator and starts its engine. In the next scene, he cuts down a tree and drags it near the fence around his house. He cuts the tree into small pieces with an axe. Inside his house, he prepares himself lunch, and while he is eating, he hears an alarm. He turns on the CCTV screen to see who it is. He sees an infected man walking towards the fence. As the infected person approaches, his feet collide with a string, and he is shot. The movie fast forwards to 2007, and we see Bill bringing something in his car to his home. While he is wielding something in the garage, he hears an alarm, which informs him about the presence of something outside his house in the pit. He goes to see who is there, and near the pit, he hears the voice of a person who is telling him that he is not infected. The person inside the pit says he was going to Boston when he ended up in the pit. Bill asks him if he is hurt, and he replies that it is just a bruise. Bill fetches a ladder and places it in the pit to let the person climb up. Before the person can completely come out, Bill places a scanner near his neck to check if he is infected. Bill tells him to go to Boston, but he says he is too hungry to walk as he has had nothing for the past 2 days. The person introduces himself as Frank to Bill. Next, Bill takes pity on him and takes him inside the house. While Frank is taking a shower in the bathroom, Bill places clothes on the bed for him. Later, while Frank is looking at his house, Bill prepares lunch for him in the kitchen. Both eat their lunch at the dining table. Bill pours him wine and then resumes eating. Bill asks if he needs anything else, and he replies that he is completely satisfied. After lunch, Frank starts playing the piano and singing at the same time. Before he has completed the song, Bill stops him, and he sits down to sing and play the piano. He diligently sings while Frank sees him standing by his side. As he finishes singing, Frank asks him about the girl he is singing about. Vehemently, Bill says there is no girl for whom he is singing. Frank stoops and kisses him while asking him his name. Frank tells him to take a shower. As Bill comes out of the bathroom after taking a shower, Frank is waiting for him in the bedroom, naked. Frank then removes the towel from Bill's body. Bill climbs into bed and lies down next to Frank. Frank asks him if he ever did this before, and Bill answers that it was with a girl a long time ago. With her he did sex. Frank gets over him and starts kissing him. Frank asks if he has had sex with him. If so, he will stay at his house for a few days longer. The movie fast forwards to 2010, and we see Bill shouting at Frank to stop walking. Frank is arguing with Bill to bring him some paint and gasoline for the lawnmower. Bill asks him why he wants all this, and Frank replies that he wants to decorate the street. He also says he wants to fix the wine shop, furniture store, and clothing boutique. Frank says they will invite friends to their house, and Bill says they do not have any friends. In the following scene, we see a lady named Tess and a man having a call at Bill's house. While they are having lunch on the lawn, Frank asks the lady if she is schizophrenic, but instead of the lady, Bill answers that he is not schizophrenic. Tess and Frank cheer and drink their glasses of wine. Later, Frank takes Tess inside, although Bill shouts at him not to bring her in. The man tells Bill to take the gun from his face, and Bill tells him that he is a survivalist and that he needs no one to intervene in their affairs. As Tess is a radio fixer, Frank takes him aside to fix the radio while Bill and the other man are looking at them. Tess and the man leave Bill's house. The movie again fast forwards to 2013, and we see Bill and Frank jogging. Bill is too tired to run, and he is panting. With his hands on Bill's eyes, Frank leads him to the back of the horse. He shows Bill strawberries that he has grown, and he tells him that he traded Joel and Tess one of his guns for a packet of seeds. He breaks a strawberry and gives it to Bill, and he also breaks one for himself. They chuckle when they eat strawberries. Bill says sorry to Frank for getting older before him. At night, while it is raining, some armed people attack Bill's house. Frank hears gunshots and sees flames outside the house. He hears Bill shouting at the people, and he takes the gun from the drawer. He runs out of the house, and he sees Bill opening fire at the people. Frank asks Bill to get inside, but he insists on fighting. In the meantime, a bullet hits Bill in the stomach, and he gets injured. Frank takes the injured Bill inside the house and lays him straight on the table. Bill gives Frank some advice because he thinks he will pass away. Frank extracts the bullet from his body. In the year 2023, we see Frank, who is paralyzed, sitting in a wheelchair. Frank has grown old, and his legs have become paralyzed. Frank is drawing a picture of Bill, and Bill winks at him when he sees him. At the table, they are having their meal, and Bill asks Frank if he has taken his pills. He says no. And then Bill opens the packet of pills for him. After dinner, Bill takes Frank to the bedroom, where they both fall asleep. In the morning, when Bill gets up, he sees Frank sitting in his wheelchair. Bill forces him to get to bed, but Frank insists on sitting in his wheelchair, and he says that is his last day. Later, they are talking to each other, and Frank asks Bill to give him one more happy day. Frank tells Bill to take him to a boutique to buy him clothes for their marriage. He told Bill that on the night of their marriage, he would prepare a delicious dinner for him. Frank takes a packet of drugs from his pocket and tells Bill that he will put that drug into his wine, which will make him unconscious in his hands. Listening to him, Bill breaks into tears, and he tells him that he cannot do so. Frank tells him that if he loves him, he will do whatever he says. The next day, Bill takes Frank to a boutique, and both Bill and Frank get married after wearing new clothes. After they kiss each other, Bill prepares dinner for himself and Frank. At the table, they have their dinner and drink wine after cheering. Bill brings another bottle of wine and pours his and Frank's wine into glasses. He puts the drug that Frank gave him into the glass of wine. Frank drinks wine in one take, as does Bill. They sit at a table and keep talking to each other. Frank tells him to take him to bed, and he pushes his wheelchair toward the bedroom. The next morning, Joel and Ellie arrive outside the house of Bill, and Joel opens the fence gate after dialing the code. The couple walks inside the house, but they see no one inside, although Joel calls Bill and Frank. He tells Ellie that if she sees anything, she will yell at him. She goes near the piano and plays it. On a table, she notices a letter with a car key attached to it. The letter is addressed to Joel because his name is written on the cover. She reads the letter to Joel, and the letter says not to open the door of the room and that one of the windows of the room is open. Joel takes the letter from her and goes out of the house. He goes to the garage and uncovers Bill's car. He then returns to the house and tells Ellie to show him her bruised arm. He tells her not to talk about Tess again or tell anyone about her condition. He goes on to say that she should say what he says. After that, They climb into the basement and see Bill's weapons there. Ellie notices a gun in the drawer and hides it in her bag as she hears Joel's footsteps. They then leave the house in Bill's blue car. The episode ends there. If you like our efforts, kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss our new video.